Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mindset Monday. Now, all day has been Monday, right? And I did the 623 event on Zoom with the ladies that signed up for that, and we had an amazing time. And so here I am on the live to see if I can just kind of summarize what we went over with week two for Mindset Monday. So if you are on with me, if you could just post your name in the chat and say hi so I know who's on with me, because I don't know if the username is going to come up when you are on. Okay. So I'm just so excited about Mindset Monday. We had a great um, event on tonight, and I wish everyone could have made it, but those that were there were supposed to be there, and those that are on here are supposed to be on here. And so I'm excited. So, okay. So let's get into it. So, of course, mindset. What is mindset? Last week we talked about that. And mindset is a set of underlying beliefs, attitudes, or assumptions that serve as a foundation for how you view and engage with and interact with the world, right? So we want to take what we believe, what our attitudes are, what our assumptions are, and we want to jump into 2023 shifting our mindset toward the things that we're supposed to be doing, okay? So that's what we were talking about on last week. We got into the fact that we looked at how these are so powerful. Your mindset is so powerful because it shapes your thoughts and feelings and behaviors in very important ways. Okay. We all know when you are set on something about how you feel about a thing, it will shape how you go after and how you do the things that you do attached to that. So I don't want to go over a whole review. I just want to click through these slides so that we talked about achiever versus becomer last week. We also got into our core values. We did a values exercise where we discovered our core values. We checked our feelings and looked at the feelings wheel and got some great information from there. And then we looked at what we know. So we looked at some beliefs. If we're fearful about something, and what do we believe about fear, and then what does God's word say about fear, and how knowing what is true concerning a thing can help you combat how you feel about a thing. Okay. So then we looked at that. Also, we detoxed our language. What are you saying to yourself? What are the words coming out of your mouth concerning your purpose, your plan, and what God has for you? So we detoxed that. We took those words that were not very flattering, that were not very loving to ourselves, and we shifted how we were saying what we were saying. So we looked at the words that were coming out of our mouth and we put them in one of three buckets: either praise, power, or punish. Those punish words, we restructured those words with statements: I am statements, I can, I will, I believe, I know. That would help us to detox what we were saying, that combat and come against those punish words. Okay. So that was last week. So today we got into accountability. Accountability. We don't always love that word, but that word is so necessary. And so we got into it, everybody, right? So let's look at, you have a circle of accountability. You either need to be accountable to one of three people, and that is to God, to others, whoever your other is, your accountability partners, and to yourself. So when you're accountable to God, what does that look like? That means that if I'm accountable to God, then I'm interacting with God, then I'm having a conversation with God, that I have specific prayers that I am lifting up concerning my purpose, and putting something visible that I can see these prayers and these scriptures that I'm standing on. I take those things that I'm trusting God for and lace it with scriptures. Get at least 7 scriptures that you're going to stand on concerning them, and then allow what you hear back, because this is the part about it being accountable, of it being back and forth, right? In order for it to be accountable, it's not just this one way directional thing of gimme, Lord, can you, will you? It's also stopping and listening to what he is saying back. What is he saying back to you in your quiet time, right? And so let's look at that. So we want to allow what you hear back from him to convince you or convict you about what to do next. If we never pause to hear back from him, then how accountable are we really being? Because we never allow God to talk back to us, right? So we're talking to God and we're waiting to hear back from him. Next, we're accountable to other people. So you want to survey your Fab Five. Who are the people that are in your sphere of accountability? The people that you trust enough to be vulnerable enough with, to be able to be accountable to them about what you're doing. You want to look at those Fab Five and make sure that those people there are ones who can encourage, empower, and support in a way that propels you forward and keeps you accountable. You know, if you have a pity party, Paula, that you actively talk to, that will allow you to wallow in something forever and ever and ever and ever, amen, then that may not be your accountability person. That may be the person that you can just dump, and then it's, you know, you got a good cry out or whatnot. But if someone that's holding you accountable will allow you yet to have that, but then also help you come up out of it when it's necessary, right? And then they will be happy for you when you are doing what you need to do. So if they're happy, keep sharing. If they're not happy, keep them out of the loop, especially if it's one of your God sized goals. If it's a God sized goal, you can't just share that willy nilly, right? So don't share with those who will not celebrate you making progress. So you want to make sure that your progress is not, oh, well, that was just a little bit of progress. And so I didn't really see any change to what you were saying last week. But you know that it's different. And so you want to have people in your space that are celebrating with you in your progress. That's your talking to others. So you're accountable to God, you're talking to God, you're accountable to others, you're talking to them, and finally you're accountable and talking to you. So your circle of accountability includes you. You need to be accountable to yourself. We need to be accountable to our own self worth, our own self esteem, our own self management, our own self reflection. We need to be able to be self aware of what is going on with us. We should be. If we shouldn't put that on other people. So, a great way to be accountable to yourself and a great way to check in with yourself is writing it down. Invest an hour a week, like a Monday, to reflect on and write what you did and what you plan to do. Look at, um, project some things out for the week. Reflect on what you did the week before. Journal your thoughts to celebrate your progress and plan for what's coming next. And then also journal what's on your mind, journal how you feel, and redirect any negative mindset traps with a written word. That goes back to, what did God say back to you? Because he's never going to come back to you with anything that's negative. He's never going to come back to you that anything that's going to tear you down. If you hear those voices, if you hear those things coming back, you know that's not God. You know that that's the adversary that is planting something negative to try to take you out. Okay. So you want to be accountable to you and journal, and journaling helps with that. Okay. And so then we talked about being realistic. And again, this is just an overview. We stopped and we had comments back and forth. I only see in the comments Facebook user. So whoever said good evening or good evening, everyone, can you also put your name so I can shout you out? This is just an overview. If you want the full video of the Mindset Monday that we had tonight with the ladies on my Zoom, then put your email in the chat and I will send it directly to you. Okay. We were sharing, and so I don't want to have that out publicly. I want to allow the ladies that shared to keep that with the other ladies that were on. But if you want that, I will get it to you by putting your, hey, Minister Camaro. And hi, Diane. Praying for uh, your son. So we want to make sure that we do that, okay? Being realistic. So in being realistic in goal setting and God sizing and all of that, God goal sizing, these are some questions that you should reflect on. Too often we jump out before we have taken that plan through a little vetting process, if you will. So let's look and let's think that through. First of all, what is the outcome? What do I even want? What do you really want? What is your specific outcome that you're looking to achieve? And what is the pain for you of not achieving the goal? In other words, if it doesn't happen, how is that going to make you feel? Is that going to make you be tore out the frame because it didn't happen? What is the outcome you want? How will it make you feel if you don't reach it? And what are you looking to achieve when it happens? Okay? What's the outcome? Next, in being realistic about what you're doing, about what you're planning for this year, getting your mindset ready, what do you think your values are concerning it? Let's make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Is this goal in line with your life plan? Is something that you're working on completely outside of your lane? We talked about that last week. Check on that. Check with yourself on that. If you're doing that and it really don't make a whole lot of sense, then really check with yourself what's going on with that, right? Next, if you are unsure, what's your gut feeling? Okay. Is this goal in line with your values and what's really important to you in your life? Do you truly want these goals or are they what you think you should have? This is a very important question. Sometimes we're doing things that we think we should be doing. We think this matches this part of my life, so I should be doing that. Should you? Check with yourself. And does thinking about your goal give you a sense of contentment, happiness, excitement? Okay. So, again, we're thinking through what is going on with your plans. How are they lining up with your values? Okay. Next, what are the obstacles? If you plan for the obstacles, then when they come, and they will come, you're ready to deal with them. Can you start and maintain this goal? Do you have complete control over achieving it? In other words, are there factors in you getting this done that you can't control? So you need to think through that so that you can account for them and plan for them and deal with them. How will this how will making this change affect other aspects of your life? Can you keep the good aspects of your current situation while making new changes? Okay, what might you have to give up or stop doing in order to achieve this goal? And is it worth the price? What might you have to give up to achieve this goal? And is it worth the price? And finally, we went over goal sizing. Is the goal the right size to be working on? In other words, have you said something really, really vague as far as what your goal is? This year, I want to get my finances together. Maybe something that you may have said. So, that's like a million different steps and tasks and things to do. And it's not a goal that is doable by the way that you just stated it. So, what would be the easiest level of goal to achieve? What would be your target level of goal to achieve? And what would be your amazing level of goal to achieve? And in other words, take that great big gargantuan, that pterodactyl size goal down to something that's doable. What can you execute? What can I get done in the next 90 days? What can I get done in the next month? Then articulate it in a way that is sized to be a right size goal. And so, not to say that you can't have those big God sized goals, because we absolutely want to do that, but give God something to work with. In other words, take it and make it so that it's executable. Bring it to a realistic view for what your life looks like. In other words, if you're already busy, 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 then you know, how is this going to fit into my life? And is it worth the time I'm going to sacrifice in order to do it? Okay. So that was what we talked about tonight. And then the last thing, which is next week, is what will you do? We're finally at the point of execution. So the next week on Mindset Monday is about what will you do? And that's the all important question that we had to come up with on tonight. What will you do? And so next week's Mindset Monday, that's what we're getting into. Hey, Angela Riley. And so we want to make sure that if you want to jump on the Zoom with us next week, please, if some of you know my number, text me. I will send you the Zoom information. I will send you the actual link to our session, the full session. I did in 15 minutes what we took about an hour to do tonight. And so it's all about mindset this year, guys. It's how you think about a thing. As a man thinketh, so is he. Because if you already go into it believing something that doesn't line up with what it is, then you are already going to give obstacles that don't have to be there, because it is how you think. What is your mindset concerning these things? So again, put it in the chat if you want the information, and I will get that to you. Thank you so much. Sorry it's so late. Do you see these bags under my eyes? Child, help. But I wanted to get and be a woman of my word. Mindset Monday is going down. And this is week 2 of 4 for 2023. And then the ladies asked, and we're going to do it once a month after we get through January, because it's so good to all of us. So if you want to join, again, put it in the chat. I'm only going to do these summaries live, so that the ladies' information and their thoughts are not out there for everyone, but just those that are inside of the Zooms. Okay. Have a great rest of your week. Get that mindset together, and allow God to do the rest. Thank you guys for joining me. Bye.